Everyone, welcome to the mock draft edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palet, Josh Palet, and Mario Heron. We're going to give our mock draft as far as what we think is going to happen in the first round. Very exciting as the draft is only a few days away. We're joining you, obviously, if you're watching the show live. We're doing this on a Monday. Draft is on Thursday. Want to remind everybody right from the very beginning, please give us the thumbs up, the like button. And at the same time, if you haven't subscribed, please do that as well. Like I've mentioned over the last week or so, there's a very good chance we're changing the name of this show. And for you to be able to find the name of the show, you're going to have to follow us on social media. Again, it's running right there at the bottom of the screen, all of our Twitter handles right there. And then once we change the name of the show, which we're guessing is going to happen, is it's out of our control, is what I'm going to tell you. So you can follow it right there as far as our Twitter handle goes. We'll let you know where we're at, but we appreciate the audience that has stayed with us and the ones that keep growing with us. We want to keep that going. As the name more than likely changes, we want to continue doing the Charger podcast throughout the 2024 season and for seasons to come until at least there's a parade. And the parade that the Chargers have won a Super Bowl. That is the goal. We've all waited way too long. Doesn't matter how old you are. We've all waited way too long. So a lot going on. Again, Josh Palet, Mario Heron at the bottom of the screen. Dave Palet. Just to let people know, I'm in San Diego. Mario is in Chicago today, and Josh is in Indianapolis today. So you got there a little bit late to run the 40, Josh, and do the shuttle drills. But how's the city of hospitality and great steak restaurants treating you?
It's great. Mario told us before the show it's a great place to catch up on a nap. So I did that. I took his recommendation up, and yeah, man, I had a good nap. But I'm right next to Lucas Oil Stadium, which is kind of cool. I've never been to Indianapolis, but it did make me feel like I was closer to the draft because in Nashville, Tennessee, you definitely don't feel close to the draft because Titans football is super dead. So being right next to Lucas Oil Stadium is cool. I feel like I'm really close to the NFL draft.
There you go. All right. By the way, Chicago, Mario, right now, everybody excited? Is that, besides Cubs are playing pretty good, but right now, and the Bulls are in the playoffs, is everybody talking about what's going to happen on Thursday with the Bears and Caleb Williams?
Oh, it's the dawn of the new era. It's a exciting time. People are pumped. The big question now is, should they trade at 9? Like, that's a topic that's falling around. But it's pretty much Bears draft and everyone's screaming at Jerry Reinsdorf right now. Like, that's pretty much the two things going on in Chicago right now. And out of respect for the city of Chicago, I'd like to say, Jerry Reinsdorf, I hate you.
Dude, that's tough, man. You know, guy's been there a long time, in charge of 2 teams, and yet he's still one of the most hated guys in the city. Not easy to be that guy. All right, so we're going to start this thing off. I said we just go, guys, basically 1 through 32. We want the comments, though, of what people think is going to happen. Now, I will say this. The best of the best in these mock drafts for the first round only hit like 4 a year. The best of the best. Again, Mel Kiper last year hit 1. Just got 1 right out of 32. This is all he does. And he got 1 right. So the idea that we can all get more than 1 right is actually a big one. I'm pretty confident of at least 3 of them in the top 10. That I would basically put a pretty good wager in. I'll tell you which ones I think are my sure picks, but I'm excited about this, you know, but we're putting it out there. All the talk and everything we've done as far as getting ready for the draft, today is the day that we put our name to it. Okay?
Yeah,
we'll start off first. Since Mario was in Chicago, Mario, I want you to go first on who's going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft.
All right, number 1 pick, Drake May. I'm kidding. No, Caleb Williams, Bears. Yeah, that's what I want to
almost
pick.
fell over.
Caleb Williams. Yeah, I know. I thought you were struck out for a second.
No, I was like, what does Mario know that we don't know? He's in the city. He's in sports.
Yeah.
I'm like, he has to know something.
No, I mean, my number 1's Caleb Williams.
Josh.
Yeah, Caleb Williams. It has to be Caleb Williams.
All right. I agree with both you guys. All 3 of us are going Caleb Williams, USC quarterback. Number 2 pick. Now, it could change as quick as number 2 in this draft. Josh, you go first on this one. Who's being taken number 2? It's the Washington Commanders are on the board.
Yeah, so I think it's between 2 guys. I think it's between Jaden Daniels and Drake May. And I do think Jaden Daniels is going to be the quarterback taken number 2. I don't take too much into account with the dinner that they invited all the players to. I think that's just a smokescreen. And I think Jaden Daniels is the second best quarterback in the draft. So I think the Commanders select him number 2 overall.
Mario?
So, like, I'm with you, Josh. A lot of smoke screens around this one. I ended up going Jaden Daniels. I think it's number 2, but a report that came out today, Dave, that the front office, the offensive coordinator, and the owner are all on 3 different pages for the second pick. So that's always good.
Just curious to know all that matters is the front office, right? I mean, that's why you hire the person. Now, at the same time, if it doesn't work out, it's an easy way to lose your job. Which way you going, Mario?
I think you have to go Jay Daniels. Give me the Heisman Trophy winner. 100%. It's Jay Daniels that too.
I'm with you guys, Jaden Daniels. I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan, and honestly, I think Jaden Daniels is trying to do a lot of trying not to go to the Commanders or the Patriots. Honestly, believe he realizes that you're as good as the team you land with, and going to the Commanders could be really the beginning of a struggling career. And Jaden Daniels has made it known that the 2 places it looks like he would like to go is either the Raiders or the Falcons. And I know the Falcons picked up Kirk Cousins, but how many years does Kirk Cousins have left? But right now, Jaden Daniels doesn't look like he's going to get his wish of ending up with either one of those teams. I do believe Jaden Daniels goes to the Commanders, and I'm a huge fan. I just think the guy, everyone says, oh, he's not built for the NFL. He's going to break down this and that. You don't know that, right? I mean, they say that about guys all the time. You just don't know which guys are going to fall apart. Both of us, or should I say, all 3 of us are exactly 2 for 2 on who we say is going first and second. Third pick in the draft. It's the New England Patriots. Patriots have this pick. And guys, do they use the pick? Do they trade the pick? What do you have happening in the 3rd spot?
Mario, you go.
If you want, I'll go
feel like
first. Phil. I haven't gone first.
Oh, yeah, you go. Let's rotate.
You go, Dave.
Yeah.
We'll rotate through. I'm going
Thank
Drake
God.
May. Drake May is the guy, he's quarterback of the Patriots, I believe, coming out of North Carolina. Drake May is the guy that we've heard so much about. Poor Mitch Trubisky kind of jinxed, basically put a bad mark on every quarterback coming out of North Carolina. But I think Drake May is that guy.
Yeah, I think Drake May is going to be the 3rd quarterback taken. People like to say that Drake May is Josh Allen on paper. I'm not really sure what that means, because if you look at people's dimensions and how far they can throw a football and how fast they can run, that doesn't equal how good you are as a football player. I'm completely not sold on Drake May, but I do think he goes 3rd overall, because that's one of those picks where you say, well, who else do you want me to take? Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy. Drake May is almost the safest pick at 3, and I think that's why he goes to the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just retweeting everything that Josh said. I think the Patriots, look, I understand you have a lot of holes in that roster, a lot of holes in that team. But at the same time, Drake May is a hell of a prospect. He's a hell of a player. And if you have a choice to get your QB and get a QB with a good head coach, a young head coach, a new GM, I think I'd take that 110% every single time.
So there we go. 3 for 3. Number 4 pick on the draft. It's the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals have the 4 spot. A lot of people think something could happen here as far as trades go. This is where the surprise could start to happen. Mario, you go first in this one. What happens in number 4? What do the Cardinals do?
So this is where I have a little chaos, guys. This is where I think stuff kind of gets a little nuts. I have a trade, and it's not the trade I think you guys would expect that the Vikings trade with the Cardinals. I think it's the Giants that trade with the Cardinals. So I think Giants trade up. They give the Cardinals their 6th pick. I think they also throw in a 2nd-round pick and a future 1st-round pick in there as well. And I think in that the New York Giants select J.J. McCarthy at 4.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like that trade. That's not the trade that I have, but I don't know why more people aren't talking about the Giants trading up. It's like, why would they not trade up? They have nobody. The Giants have had nobody. Daniel Jones is not him. So I like that trade, but that's not the trade that I have. I have the Cardinals trading with the Vikings and getting the 11th and 23rd pick, and the Vikings moving up to draft J.J. McCarthy. That's who I have. I have no idea.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting which way you guys went. All right. I'm writing all this down. Sorry, guys. I know I could go back and watch the show again, but I'm not. Okay.
Or we can just text you our list to save you all this time.
You could just text me my list and save me a lot of time of looking down at my paper. All right. I tell you what, guys, I think the Cardinals stay pat. I think the Cardinals stay right there. And the Cardinals, what they end up doing is they end up taking Marvin Harrison Jr. I kind of wonder, how do you explain it to your fan base any other way? The Cardinals have been a joke, as I make fun of them all the time on the show. So with the Cardinals, I think you have to sit there and get Kyler Murray some help. You have to show you're invested in the future of this team. You have what you call a franchise quarterback. You got to have Marvin Harrison Jr. with the Cardinals. And here's a situation in a city that is struggling sports-wise all of a sudden. You just lost your hockey team. The college team in Arizona State stinks in everything they do. The baseball team just went to the World Series, but at the same time, there's a threat that they're moving unless they get a new stadium. You got to make Arizona Cardinal football relevant in that city. And I think by trading out of that pick, they're making a mistake. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. brings excitement, gives you reason to buy season tickets. We all talk about that flashy, skilled position player where there's your guy. I mean, they loved Larry Fitzgerald, and they say Marvin Harrison Jr. is the closest thing to Larry Fitzgerald. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray are supposed to be together for the next 10 years. So I'm saying that they stay pat.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually think your pick's going to happen, but I'm picking with my heart instead of my head, because with the 5th pick and the pick that we all care about, I have the Chargers drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. And the reason why I chose that is because that's what I want to happen, but also because I think a team's going to get desperate and trade with the Cardinals and make them an offer they can't refuse, like the Giants, right? Like you said, if the Giants were to offer the Cardinals another first-round pick and a second-round pick to move up 2 spots, I mean, how do you not take that if you're the Cardinals, right? That's sitting right there. But
Yep.
I have the Chargers taking Marvin Harrison Jr. and not trading back. There's been a lot of talk today specifically that the Chargers are going to trade that pick. I don't think anybody knows anything. And I think the Chargers are going to stay if Marvin Harrison Jr. is available.
Josh, I did this a little bit with my heart too. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chargers. But also, like, to your point, like, I was hearing today that there's a deal done by the Chargers that if Marvin Harrison Jr. is not there at 5, that it's a done deal. The Vikings get that pick. Like, that's a done deal. And there's a mutual agreement between the Chargers and the Vikings. Now, whether that comes to fruition, whether that happens, we'll see. But I just don't think they can pass the Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think that's what happens. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is not available, Chargers are going to trade out. That's what I think is going to happen. You can't pass up on him. But I think that's also why the Cardinals might take Marvin Harrison Jr. because you can't pass up on him. But I'm with you. If he's not available, they're going to trade down.
Yeah, this is what I've been telling you guys for a couple months. Is everything I'm hearing is the Chargers are trading this pick. The Chargers are trading this pick, and I believe for me the line would be, if I was working in the front office, would be Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, all bets are off if Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, but I don't think he'll be there. As I said before, I have him going 1 pick ahead, and I think Arizona holds on to that. I do have the trade coming though, guys, with the number 5 pick. This is where the Chargers make their trade. They're going to make the trade with the Vikings. Chargers will drop back. Vikings will step up. And I have the Vikings taking J.J. McCarthy.
Gosh.
Whoever takes J.J. McCarthy, I'm going to go idiot. I'm just not sold on J.J. McCarthy. I'm sorry. Like, I feel like you fell for it. There's always that guy they always try and push forward in these drafts that trying to get to see if you can jump. And I think there are going to be a lot of front offices that are going to snicker when somebody takes J.J. McCarthy going, nobody thought this guy was a first-round pick. 5 months ago. Now, all of a sudden, J.J. McCarthy is not only going to the first round, he's going to the top 10. Like, how did this happen? It doesn't make any sense.
What's the difference between J.J. McCarthy and A.J. McCarron, right? A.J. McCarron was the same quarterback at Alabama that won. Nobody wanted him in the NFL. Why does everybody want J.J. McCarthy? I completely don't understand it.
It's bizarre.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it might be one of those where we're like, oh, man, we were the dumbest guys going. We look back at this show, but I don't think so. This honestly comes back to, I'll even say a year ago, if somebody said J.J. McCarthy was going in the first round, we would have dismissed that person and said, I'm never talking to that guy again. He doesn't know anything. Not only going to the first round, he's going possibly in the top 5 picks. Bizarre.
He just won his starting job last year, He was in a QB battle with kid Michael Namora, how you say his name. I don't know, that guy sucks. Anyways, moving on. I don't understand it. Like, is this a Will Levis situation too, though? Like, could this be like remember Will Levis around this time was getting a lot of heat that he could go in the top 5 and then he fell all the way to the second round? Like, could that be him? That wouldn't surprise me though either.
I honestly believe there's so much smoke around J.J. McCarthy. I believe it's real. I believe someone's going to take this guy in the top 10 picks. God. Yeah, it's bizarre. All right, so you guys got to help me out here. So we go to number 6 in this. I still have the Giants with the pick. You guys have or Mario has a different pick there, but my pick is the Giants take Malik Neighbors, wide receiver, LSU. Mario, you have the Cardinals in this pick.
Yeah, well, I'll chime in. I have Malik Neighbors going to the Giants as well. Giants need desperate help at receiver, and he's 1A and 2A, right? I'm totally messing this up right now, but yeah, he's the other best player you got to draft Malik Neighbors.
I have Malik Neighbors here as well, but he instead goes to the Cardinals instead of the Giants. Yes.
And I tell you what, if that's the case, and it's exactly what Josh said as far as how close they look at those two wide receivers, the Cardinals, if that's what they are, the Cardinals did a great job with their trade, right? They got some room there where they get some picks, and at the same time, they're able to get the wide receiver that people say they're mirror images of each other. So who knows? We'll see. But if otherwise, you sit there and go, hey, we look at this draft in 3 years and go, Malik Neighbors turned out to be just as good, or if not better, than Marvin Harrison Jr. Tip your hat to the Cardinals. But that's not what the Cardinals do. They aren't that organization. They don't make smart moves. Nothing ever works out for the Cardinals. It's just what they are. Damn. All right. Next pick, 7th pick in the draft. It's the Tennessee Titans, and I feel confident in this pick. Josh, I'll let you make this pick.
Yeah, we're going with the same player. I feel almost as confident with this pick as I do with Caleb Williams going to the Bears. Like, Joe Alt is going to be a Tennessee Titan. He is the left tackle that they need. He is a phenomenal left tackle. He's the best in the nation by far. He's not a right tackle. So the Titans desperately need help at left tackle. Joe Alt makes all the sense in the world. He's going to be a Tennessee Titan.
That's why I have Joe Alt, Tennessee Titan, straight to Nashville, hanging out with Josh. Also, just side note really quickly, Josh, I don't know if you probably definitely picked up on this, but there's nothing more that I love in a show than when Dave says a point and then he does like a pause and just goes, damn. It's like, I
didn't realize I'd do it. That's funny as hell. I didn't even realize I'd do it. Yeah, all three of us are right there. Tennessee Titans are taking Joe Alt. Joe Alt will start a new podcast on a bus, my guess, as soon as he gets there. He's the new left tackle replacing Taylor Lewan. So it's going to be it's a perfect fit. The Titans have been looking for this position for a couple of years now. Joe Alt, I think, will be a Tennessee Titan. 8th pick in the draft. It falls to the Atlanta Falcons. Mario, you go ahead. You make the pick because I'm as sure as this one as I was in Joe Alt.
I think we'll play all the same one here, too. I have Dallas Turner to the Falcons. That's who I have right there.
Yeah, Dallas Turner is the player that the Falcons have desperately needed for years, right? The Falcons have lacked the edge rusher that's going to, take over a game and get that third down sack that you've been wanting. He's everything the Falcons need, and he's a game changer. He played alongside Will Anderson. He was in his shadow because Will Anderson was so damn good. But last year, people saw how good Dallas Turner is. He's going to be a Falcon.
I agree with you. Again, all three of us going the same way. Edge rusher, Dallas Turner, Alabama, going to Atlanta. Next pick, number 9 pick. Chicago Bears have this pick. And Mario, I'm going to let you go first on this one.
I have another trade here.
Okay.
I think that the Colts trade with the Bears, and they trade up. And the Bears have no draft capital. I know that's kind of crazy to say with the draft. I mean, with the trades they made with the Panthers, but they really don't. So they get a second-round pick out of this. The Colts trade up, and they take Rome Odunze at 9.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Yep. So I don't have any other trades besides the Cardinals and Vikings trade that I said earlier. So I have the Bears keeping this pick, and I have Rome Odunze going to the Bears.
And that's exactly what I have. I have the same exact thing is that I have Josh's pick. I have Odunze going to the Bears. I think Caleb Williams even has more weapons. I think if you're a Chicago Bears fan, you have to be extremely excited that you have 3 wide receivers you can count on with finally maybe your first ever quality quarterback. I think it's a good fit for Bears fans, something that they've waited a lifetime for, to have this exact situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
They're going to be excited.
So there we go. So again, Mark, keep track of your trades. I'm doing the best I can, but I'm with Josh. That's the last trade I had was the Charger trade. It's too much to think about going the other way. 10th pick in the draft is the New York Jets. I will go first in this one, and I think the Jets take my guy, Brock Bowers.
Yeah. So I was debating between Brock Bowers and the other guy that I ended up picking. Brock Bowers makes a lot of sense, but Aaron Rodgers needs more than a tight end. I think he needs protection so he can stay upright. And that Jets offensive line stinks. So I have them drafting J.C. Latham with the 10th pick out of Alabama.
Mario, what do you say?
I'm with you, Dave. I have Brock Bowers to the Jets, and I think the Jets make this awful mistake of ignoring to address their biggest issue, and that is the O-line, because that is the most Jets thing that the Jets can do. So I think that's why I kind of went with them in that spot because I think they try to ignore that a little bit. They go Brock Bowers at 10 and go, hey, Rodgers, here's another nice weapon you can have. And Aaron goes, that's great. I have 1 second to throw the football.
You know what's interesting about Brock Bowers going to the Jets? Someone brought this up last week. I think it was I'm trying to blank. Our guest on Thursday. What's his face? Works
Ryan
with
Horvath.
Ryan. He said, good point. Aaron has never used a tight end his whole career. He's
Yeah.
basically never used a tight end. So why would you draft Brock Bowers in this situation? I mean, in his eyes, when he's sitting there scanning the field for what's open, Aaron Rodgers has never used a tight end. Like, it just hasn't been a major part of the Packers offense.
Ever.
Ever.
He never throws to the tight end. Didn't throw to Jimmy Graham,
No.
Jermichael Finley.
No.
None of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Bubba
So,
Franks
yeah,
is still pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. With the 11th pick, guys, my pick is a little bit different. My pick is the Chargers pick. And again, refresh my memory on what you guys have at number 11.
I have Arizona.
Okay. So, Josh, you go first in this one. What do you have for Arizona?
So I feel like the Cardinals are in the same situation as the Falcons, where they haven't had an edge rusher that's made a difference. Maybe since Chandler Jones, they haven't really had the guy that could get after the quarterback in a while. So I think they take Latu out of UCLA. He's an edge rusher that's highly touted. People love how his game they think is going to translate to the NFL. He's very physical, and he's a guy that the Cardinals need. And he's not far away going from Los Angeles to Phoenix. So I think that's what the Cardinals do with their pick.
Mario, what do you got?
All right, so Cardinals. Oh, I'm sorry. I still have it Vikings right there. I think the Vikings, this guy they always wanted, Brian Baldinger, actually put him as the third best quarterback, all the QBs, Michael Penix. Also, just going to really prepare for a lot of Penix jokes if he's not very good. Just going to prepare. Also, Dave, you don't have to write these down. I'll put them in our rundown at the bottom.
Oh, cool.
To help
Good
you
deal.
out. And in that, I realized I put Dallas Turner twice. So that's
Okay.
good.
I don't think. Okay. That's funny. I messed mine up. So the one I have to send to you is different. All right. So again, Penix, Vikings for Mario. Josh has Arizona. Latu from UCLA. I'm going Chargers have their pick. And for me, this is the first pick the Chargers have in the draft, picking number 11. I have, let's see how good I am. I'm just going to go Fuaga. How's that? Right tackle, Oregon State.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that pick because that's the player they need. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they need.
Yeah.
Not fancy.
Number 12 pick. Now, look, here's the deal. The Broncos have this pick. Now, for people just tuning in, if you aren't aware, I see some people already aware in the chat. Broncos made a trade for Zach Wilson today. I mean, that's a joke. There's no way Zach Wilson's the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. It's amazing anybody would even make a move for Zach Wilson. There's nothing there in Zach Wilson. And so you sit there and go, okay, what? It's just mandatory that somebody has to have a Wilson jersey. It doesn't make any goddamn sense that the Broncos make this move. But whatever, Zach Wilson's a Bronco. I'm going to go first in this one. I don't think it makes any damn difference. I say the Broncos still draft a quarterback here, and they're taking Bo Nix from Oregon.
I have the same pick. And when I saw that the trade went through recently, I thought the same thing. That doesn't change my pick at all. They're still going to take a quarterback, I think. Zach Wilson is a backup quarterback. He showed that. Bo Nix, I also don't think is that great. Dave's higher on Bo Nix than I am. But I think it makes more sense for the Broncos to go double quarterback here so they have more options. Because right now, I think the only other quarterback is Jared Stidham. So why not draft another quarterback?
Mario, what do you got?
So I actually have him going Brian Thomas.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I think they can get Bo a little bit later.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they go Thomas here.
Okay. 13th pick in the draft, it's the Raiders. Raiders picking at number 13. A lot of people thought they're going to take a quarterback here. Josh, what do the Raiders do in this situation?
I think they still take a quarterback. Michael Penix Jr. is the pick I have to the Raiders. I actually think Michael Penix Jr. is the third best quarterback in the draft behind Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. I like the pick for the Raiders, unfortunately, because we hate the Raiders. But I think Michael Penix would be a great addition to that team.
Mario, what do you have?
Oh, good old Raiders. I have Fashanu, the offensive tackle from Penn State, going to the Raiders. Then they beef up that O-line a little bit. I thought about doing like receiver right there, but I just didn't really think it made a lot of just sense. I think that's what they do. Just build up the O-line a little bit, take that home with them. Or they just try to double down, get another edge rusher, and just say we're not the best edge rusher in the league. But I don't think they do that.
I think the Raiders with this pick, number 13, I think they're going cornerback. I said they're going Terrion Arnold, Alabama cornerback. Pretty cool story. I mean, number one, he won over the media when he was in Indianapolis for the Combine. And then the story last week that he showed up at his high school with his jersey and he gave it to the janitor saying, if I ever make it, I'm coming back and take care of you. And he gave him his Alabama jersey. Right now, he's the media darling. Terrion Arnold is doing everything right where people fall in love with him. I think the Raiders fall in love with him too. And I think he is the first cornerback from Alabama taken. Terrion Arnold goes to the Raiders.
I like that pick.
Saints pick number 14. Saints picking number 14. I'll go first in this one. I believe this is where they take J.C. Latham, offensive tackle, Alabama. I think Latham ends up with the Saints. I know some people might think that's a pretty good fall. If he falls all the way to 14, that's a hell of a pick for New Orleans.
Yeah, and I think one of these tackles has to fall, right? Because Mario just said the tackle from Penn State. There's about a handful of them that could go in the top 15. Somebody's going to fall. I have Fuaga going here to the Saints. I think he's the guy that falls down to 14, even though he probably shouldn't go that low. But the Saints need some help, and I think he ends up in New Orleans.
Mario, what do you have?
Same thing as Josh. I have Fuaga going right there to the Saints.
Good.
By the way, if one of the worst teams to be a fan of right now, I would say Saints. You're going nowhere with a weirdly talented team, but boy, are you going nowhere.
You have a terrible coach. I mean, Dennis Allen is one of the worst coaches in the NFL. I can't understand what the hell the Saints are doing. And bad quarterback situation.
They might have the worst quarterback coach combo in the league right now. Like, seriously. Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. Like, it doesn't matter who else is on the team.
Dennis Allen's that guy.
Is just sitting there like, can someone help me?
100%. You're right on that. I mean, Dennis Allen's that one guy, and we all hate this guy. The guy that falls up in life, right? No matter what he does, he falls up. Things get better for him as life goes on. Dennis Allen falls up. He was a coach of the Raiders. He stunk. Falls up, gets another head coaching job. I mean, Bill Belichick wasn't even interviewed. I mean, it doesn't make any sense that Belichick doesn't have a job and Dennis Allen has a job. He has to be one of the first guys fired this year. I don't know what New Orleans is doing. I'm not a Saints fan, so I don't care. But at the same time, I'm like, God, man, you got to step in front of everybody all the time. All right. 15 is a pick that changed. Josh and I both have the Colts here at 15. Mario has the Bears here at 15. Mario, you go first. All these Bears picks I'm giving to you.
I got them going edge rusher. That's a spot they don't really have figured out. Like they only have really one edge rusher right now. And Sweat, they need two. So I think there they go. Jared Verse from Florida State. I think they get him at 14. By the way, he's probably like my favorite edge rusher of this draft. I remember watching like a good amount of games of him at Florida State. Guy's a beast. So give me him at 14.
There you go. Josh, Colts pick at 15. Who you have them taking?
I have Brock Bowers going to the Colts at 15. The reason why I have Brock Bowers going to 15 because I think it makes a lot of sense for the Colts. You have a young quarterback. The number one thing you want to get a young quarterback is a tight end. You want him to have a tight end to throw to because that is the guy that's going to be open in the middle of the field. When you have nobody else open, just throw that thing to Brock Bowers. If I was Anthony Richardson, I would want Brock Bowers more than anybody else in this draft. So I think Brock Bowers goes to the Colts.
All right. For me, I'm going Colts go cornerback. They're going Quinton Mitchell, cornerback from Toledo is who I have them getting. Now, a lot of people have him going possibly to the Raiders. But I'm going Mitchell falls right here to number 15 to the Colts. And it's weird to say he falls because a lot of people aren't watching Toledo football games. But again, he's been outstanding. He's opened a lot of eyes, a lot of talk as far as the first round of this draft and where he goes. A lot of people believe he's the best cover corner in this league. So I have the Colts taking Mitchell on this one. Number 16 pick, it's the Seattle Seahawks. Josh, you go ahead and you go first on this one. What do you have?
I have them going to Amarius Mims from Georgia, the tackle. They need some help on the offensive line. He's a guy that, has led that Georgia offensive line for a while now. He's very physical. He's a guy that people like to talk about as the next tackle in this draft that could be an all-pro for years to come just because of how talented he is. And the Saints need that. I mean, the Saints have needed a tackle for a while, so I think the Saints go with Amarius Mims out of Georgia.
Mario, what do you think?
I got the Toledo cornerback here. I
I
got
said
Mitchell.
Saints, by the way. I meant Seahawks. I'm screwing this
Oh,
up.
okay. You confused me there. Wait.
Yeah.
Then
No, Seahawks are
yeah.
taking Mims from Georgia.
Okay. I skipped one then. By the way, me typing this late at night, just not getting enough sleep was a terrible idea. JC Latham, I have Seahawks 15.
Okay. 16.
Yeah. Gosh darn it. I forgot that. Dude, this is a lot that happened with my brain, dude. And my light just fell. I'm falling apart, gentlemen. There's a lot going on.
Dude, you went with multiple trades to screw yourself up. I'm telling you. I did this myself and I screwed it up last week.
Yeah. I did too many trades. I knew it would fall. And it did.
All right. You have Latham going to the Seahawks, though.
Latham Seahawks, yes.
Okay. This is where I have Jared Verse going, defensive end, going to Florida State. I have no idea what Seattle's going to do. This is not where you put money on my pick on this. Seattle's always one of those teams I can never figure out what Seattle is doing. Right when you think they should go one way, they seem to go another way. So I always get a little bit confused on that one. 17th pick. We're going Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll go first on this one, guys. I have Nate Wiggins, cornerback, Clemson. Jaguars love Clemson, guys.
Yeah, that's worked out really well for them. I have Terry and Arnold, the cornerback out of Alabama, going to Jacksonville. Terry and Arnold is a guy that has shot up since he arrived at Alabama. Dave nailed it. This guy has done everything he can to be a media darling. He was buddies with Saban's wife, Miss Terry. They would text each other before every game. When Terry and Arnold's done with football, he's going to be in media somewhere. I think he's actually a really good football player, too, and he's going to go to the Jaguars.
So this is where I mentioned earlier the Toledo corner, Mitchell. I have him going to the Jaguars here. The Jaguars are going to need a lot of secondary help. And look at that division, by the way, that you have DeAndre Hopkins you face twice a year. You have the Texans receiving core that is just absolutely nasty. That just had a Diggs that you'll face twice a year. Then I think I have Colts getting Roma Duze, so another weapon that you're going to face 2 times a year, all with pretty young quarterbacks. 2 of the 3 are good, as we know right now. So I think they add help to that secondary that they desperately need.
All right. Next pick in is 18. Cincinnati comes in at 18. And I got Mario. You go first on this one.
So I have them going Brian Murphy, defensive tackle, right here. This is a guy I actually really contemplated if the Bears would get at 15 that had them trading, just because I think he's going to be a huge help for any team that needs a little defensive interior help. I think the Bengals do need that. And their edge rushers are getting a little bit older, by the way. So I think Murphy right here from the Texas goes to Cincinnati Bengals.
Josh, what do you have?
See, this pick I'm not very confident in. I have Fashanu, the tackle from Penn State, going there. And I know they have Orlando Brown Jr. and Trent Brown, but their offensive line has been so crappy for the longest time that I think they just need to add as many guys as possible. Jonah Williams left to Arizona, so they need to just add some depth. I think they take Fashanu from Penn State.
That's exactly what I have. It's really weird that we go this late in the draft and we hit 2 the same. That's what I have. And you can say whatever you want about Cincinnati needing defense. Everyone has said that for years with Cincinnati. But look, you got to keep Joe Burrow healthy. And that the most important thing right now is how do you sit there and make sure that offensive line is going to protect him at all times. For a guy who's only been in the league a short time and has gone to a Super Bowl, he's been banged up a lot. So I'm with you, Josh. I'm going Penn State, Fashanu at tackle for Cincinnati. Number 19 pick, it's the Rams. The Rams, who have a ton of picks in this draft, and it's always been a joke that the Rams haven't had a first-round pick for Sean McVay his entire time he's been there. The Rams, though, have a ton of picks in this draft, and here's their first-round pick in forever. Josh, go ahead. Give me what you have.
Yeah, I'm going with Byron Murphy, the defensive tackle. I think he's the guy that steps in from with Aaron Donald out. They desperately need a guy to fill that void. Nobody's going to be Aaron Donald, but he is the best defensive tackle in the draft. So why not add a guy that's ranked number 1? So I think that's the direction they go.
Wow, I feel like an idiot. I definitely should have went that route because that sounds a lot smarter than what I was going to say. I had Taylor Gooten from Oklahoma, offensive tackle, going to the Rams just to help out Stafford a little bit. Guyton, help him out a little bit on the O-line. I had that for the Los Angeles Rams. By the way, another team, I know like praise McVay's really a good coach, but another team kind of stuck in no man's land coming up.
I went defense on this as well. I should have, I think, probably gone what Josh said because if it's more of the Aaron Donald situation. But this is where I have Latu, the edge rusher from UCLA. And this is why I went just for that same reason to put pressure on the quarterback. Don't know. I think with both LA teams, I mean the Chargers and the Rams, I don't think it matters if a guy went to USC or if a guy went to UCLA. It's whatever's the best fit for that organization. And maybe you see that in other sports a little bit more, but I think in this situation they do keep an LA guy in LA. I think Latu is the one that comes to the Rams. Just a guess, not exactly sure, but they need help. Aaron Donald retiring, I think, really is a big shot for this organization. For the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 20, guys, I'll go first on this one. It's probably my turn. I'm going center Graham Barton from Duke.
I'm going Kool-Aid McKinstry, cornerback, Alabama. Their defensive backfield gets lit up all the time for some reason. I know they have Joey Porter Jr., Mika Fitzpatrick, but I think Kool-Aid ends up being a first-round pick, and I think he's better than Terrion Arnold. So I have him going to the Steelers.
I have the Steelers doing what they do best and what they always nail no matter what, somehow, in some way, and that's pick a receiver. I have them taking Xavier Worthy, receiver out of Texas in this one. Guy that's a little bit known as an unselfish player coming into that locker room. I think could be huge with Pickens, as they have two QBs battling for a quarterback spot that they're probably going to trade one of them at the middle of the year. But yeah, Xavier Worthy, Texas, comes out.
If that's the case, everyone the Steelers ever get to play wide receiver seems like it's a home run, right? Always works out with the Steelers. It's bizarre. The Steelers, again, have the most money invested in defense out of any team in the NFL, but at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if they did what Josh just said and they go defense again. It's just one of those things Mike Tomlin and the Steelers like to do is defense. They need help on that offensive side of the ball dramatically. Here's the deal. Worthy's so fast. Does Russell Wilson even have the arm to sit there and hit him in stride? I mean, Russell Wilson's one of you look at, he's good from 40 yards in, or supposed to be good from 40 yards in, but is he a guy that you think at his age, at his time, he can stretch the field?
Yeah, I don't think so at all. I don't think Russell Wilson's that good. And they should probably get a receiver for him, honestly. Like, their receivers suck. I think Van Jefferson's right now starting for the Steelers. It's crazy.
I mean, like Pickens is still a head case that's been shown throughout his early career, like very talented, but holy hell. Helmet's got dented and not from hits.
Next up on the board, 21 is the Miami Dolphins. Guys, what's your pick here?
I'll go. So the Dolphins obviously lost Christian Wilkins to the Raiders. I think it's a similar situation where they have a guy step in for that spot because it's a big need. And I have them taking Newton, the defensive tackle from Illinois, to go to the Dolphins.
I'm going to do a last second pivot. Because this is one of the spots where I had two names written in. I'm gonna go with Josh, what you just said, because the offensive tackle I had written there for him, I just was trying to think of my reasoning. I just didn't really love it. I like that instead. So give me the guy from Illinois as well.
I'm going right here. It's a situation where they replace Wilkins, but I'm going it's Byron Murphy, the second defensive tackle. Texas is where I have him going. So he's my guy to replace Wilkins in this situation for the Dolphins. Eagles picking at number 22. Mario, what do you have for the Eagles?
I got a Bama guy right here. Roll Tide. Look, the Eagles love to take Georgia, the Georgia super varsity team. But I think in this route, they still stay in the SEC, and they like their SEC guys. Terrion Arnold, I think the Alabama corner going to the Eagles. And this one, defense gets a little bit younger. They get a guy added to that secondary. I think that's the best spot for the Eagles right here, who pretty much have, honestly, if you look at it, Josh, I think they have every other position covered, but they need to add a better secondary that fell apart for them late in the year last year.
Horrible, dude.
Josh,
horrible defensive secondary. I have Cooper DeJean, the corner from Iowa, going to the Eagles. Like you said, they need some big-time help on defense, and I think he's a guy that people think is going to play well in the NFL because he was so good at Iowa on that defense that would lock you down but wouldn't score any points.
Yeah, I'm going with Mario. I'm going Alabama cornerback, but I'm going Kool-Aid McKinstry. Kool-Aid McKinstry right here is the one who I think Philadelphia ends up taking in the situation at number 22. There we go. All right. Flipping the paper over. Number 23. I have a Charger pick here, guys. At 23, this is the Chargers' second part of that trade with the Vikings. I'm going to go first in this one, and I think a lot of the people who are following the show right now will like this pick. I'm going Brian Thomas, wide receiver, LSU.
Yeah, it gets me horny.
What do you guys
I would love it. So you have Fuaga and Brian Thomas going to the Chargers. That's what you
Exactly right. That's my first round for the Chargers.
have. Okay. I like
You
it.
get your right
I have
tackle and you
Brian
get a wide
Thomas
receiver.
Jr. Yeah, I have Brian Thomas Jr. going in this slot, but not to the Chargers. I have him going to the Cardinals. Cardinals receivers right now are Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, and Chris Moore. Good luck. You need somebody to throw the ball to. So I think Brian Thomas Jr. goes to the Cardinals.
All right. Well, I'm hoping, praying that we get Dave's options. I think that's a great pick right there. But at 22, I still have. I'm sorry, 23. I still have the Vikings keeping that pick, and I have Latu falling with UCLA. Gets grabbed right here by Minnesota. If I had to say it in all this part that I was most confident in, it'd be this one. I do not feel the most confident in this, but if he drops, he drops this. Yeah. I mean, it's a great.
For
I mean,
Minnesota, think about it.
It's a great.
They struck gold before. Minnesota struck gold before with the UCLA guy. Anthony Barr was great.
Yeah.
You know, do they do it again? Do they go back to the well? Not for Minnesota. That pick would make a lot of sense. 24th pick. It's the Dallas Cowboys. Josh, what do you have?
I got Powers. You know, JPJ going to the Cowboys as their new center. You know, guy out of Oregon that people love. Think he can anchor an offensive line, and the Cowboys need that. So I think he goes to Dallas.
Mario, what do you have?
Graham Barton, I have here for the Dallas Cowboys. They build up the interior offensive line. Look, the Cowboys pride themselves in that O-line, and they have for this past decades. But the only good thing they've ever nailed, I think they built it even more up here in this draft.
Okay, I'm going that the Cowboys go wide receiver in this one. They're going Keon Coleman, wide receiver, Florida
State.
Florida State. Sorry. Yes. How about that?
Yeah.
Don't know if I'm right. Just can't figure out what Jerry's doing. All right, Green Bay Packers, Mario. Since I know you pay attention to what happens in Wisconsin with the Packers, the team you hate more than anybody else outside of the Chiefs. What are the Packers doing here?
Yeah, so apologies to this guy having to go to Wisconsin and live there and live in Green Bay. That sucks very, very badly and wear this disgusting uniform. So my apologies, my man. But I've also very much apologies on me trying to pronounce your name. Amarius Mims, Georgia, offensive tackle. I think he goes to the Green Bay here, beefs up the O-line, and he gets dominated by Sweat 2 times a year.
I have Mitchell, the cornerback out of Toledo, going to the Packers. I think he's a guy that might fall a little bit. That's a really good player.
All right, so Josh has Quinn Mitchell going to the Packers right there. This is one of those. I think all three of us, when we make our picks, and I don't think anyone would be surprised the situation we're going. I'm going with Troy Fautanu, the offensive tackle from Washington. I'm going offensive line right there.
Nice.
And so anyway, that there you go. There's my pick. By the way, the Green Bay Packers, man, their quarterback is here in San Diego like every day. Like it's working out nonstop.
Why?
You always see this though, Mario. These quarterbacks come to San Diego, and like Russell Wilson's always here. You always see guys that come and they work out at this high school, this private high school, and you always have these NFL players running routes and everything else. It's not just Russell Wilson. It's
Cam Newton would come. Jameis Winston used to come
all the time. It's kind of bizarre. Maybe because the weather, they don't have to worry about the rain.
His facility's really nice.
It's a high school.
Right.
The facilities there are pretty nice, though. I mean, put it this way: they just built a bar above the football field where the parents can sit there and drink while their kids play.
That's wow. Sounds like a lot of issues at home.
Just a lot of issues. A lot of issues.
Yeah.
All right. 26th pick. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll go first in this one. I'm going edge rusher, Chop Robinson, Penn State.
Nice. I got Nate Wiggins, cornerback, Clemson.
Gosh. We're all three different. I got Peyton Mitchell, NC State linebacker.
Okay. So we all went defense in that situation right there.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's interesting to see what I don't know. Do you guys still consider Tampa Bay an elite team? Even when they won the Super Bowl, did you consider Tampa Bay an elite team? Or was it just like, hey, it was short term because they had Tom Brady?
No, dude. They're in a horrible division. Horrible. It's like being the smartest kid in the dumbest class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally me when I failed ice step and I was in the dumb class. That's who they are.
What did you fail?
I purposely failed the ice step.
What the hell is this?
We've
What are you
gone over
talking about?
this. Ice step was like a standardized testing that they had when you were like a little kid. We called it ice step. And they would always tell you it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was a huge deal. And my mom was telling me like, "Hey, it's not a big deal, sweetie. You'll do fine." So I slept through it, and then when I did the writing prompt, I wrote about Michael Jordan instead of the writing prompt. So I wrote about the 1998 season, the 96 season when it's 72 and 10.
You weren't
Wrote
even
about
born.
that.
You weren't even
I
born.
know, but I thought it was really cool because he went 72 and 10. So I wrote about that, and then then I failed. And I was within the class with all my friends, but all my friends weren't the smartest. So it's fun
Oh
class.
my god! I love how they told you it wasn't important. Did they know you're going to bomb? Is that what they told you it wasn't important? They just
No,
didn't have
I mean,
anxiety?
I think my mom was trying to like make me relax for it, and I took it as, oh, that I'm just gonna do what I want for it then. So I did. She was not happy. Let me tell you.
Oh boy! All right, here we go. Arizona Cardinals at 27. Mario, what do you have?
All right, Arizona Cardinals. I have Darius Robinson, Missouri defensive lineman, going there for Arizona Cardinals. Bump up the D line a little bit, baby. Let's get some action.
Who do you have, Dave?
I have Amarius Mims, offensive tackle, Georgia.
Okay, I don't know why I have the Texans with the 27th pick. Am I the one that's crazy?
Did I mess it up,
No,
Mario?
that's trade. No, that's traded. You're right.
Okay.
Well, my pick still works, so it doesn't matter. I have Jared Verse, edge rusher, Florida State, going 27th overall.
Okay. Buffalo Bills, number 28. I messed up my pick. Go ahead. I got to find somebody. Go ahead.
have-
you guys go.
I have
realize
Keon Coleman. Yeah,
Okay.
I have Keon Coleman, the wide receiver out of Florida State. Obviously, we know that Buffalo lost Stephon Diggs, and Josh Allen needs somebody to throw the ball to desperately. I think Keon Coleman's the first of a few receivers that they might draft.
I have the exact same thing. Coleman out of Florida State. They need a receiver so desperately bad. I don't think they trade up though, Josh. Like I don't really see them trading up. I see them staying put. I was trying to contemplate that yesterday. Like, could they trade up and get a receiver if they really wanted it? But it's such a deep class, and I just don't see the Buffalo Bills wanting to do that. I see them staying put and getting a guy there.
I have a Mitchell, wide receiver from Texas. That's what I have. I have him taking wide receiver as well, but I'm going Mitchell's going to be the wide receiver that's going to be going to the Buffalo Bills. Number 29, we're going Detroit Lions. So, by the way, their new uniforms came out and plain as can be. So Detroit. 2 stripes on the sleeves. What the hell? Just change the block lettering. What's going on in Detroit?
I have Mike Sanistril, the cornerback, staying in Michigan and going to the Lions. I don't know how the Lions don't do anything other than defense with this pick. Their offense is really good, but I see a lot of people picking a receiver, go to Detroit. I'm like, how many receivers does Detroit need? I think they go with a defensive player, and I have cornerback Sanistril.
Okay.
All right.
Mario, what do you have?
I got O-lineman build up. Zach Frazier, West Virginia, Detroit Lions. Again, a team that doesn't have a lot of weaknesses, but I think a position you can never be too good at and be too thick at is the O-line. So I think they build up their O-line right there, especially in a division that's going to look to build up their respective defensive fronts.
I'm going Detroit Lions take Darius Robinson, defensive line, Missouri, in this situation. So I have them. I have them falling. Both of you guys already have them off the board, right? Am I right on that? Someone said his name earlier. Darius Robinson, defensive line, Missouri.
Yeah, I have 26.
I don't have him.
26 or 27
okay.
to the Cardinals.
Okay. Number 30, I'll go first on this one. It's the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going Taylor Guyton, offensive tackle, Oklahoma.
I have Chop Robinson, defensive end, Penn State.
Okay.
I got Kool-Aid McKinstry. Is that his last name?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right. I got him going to the Ravens. I think this is probably going to be Ravens' best pickup. And him and that secondary with Kyle Hamilton is going to be pretty scary for the AFC North going into the future. Side question. Do they kind of need to draft a receiver here? Because they don't really have a great receiver core besides Flowers.
They
believe
probably
they have
could.
receivers. Yeah, they last year they were saying, "Oh man, but look at our receivers, we're set finally." I mean, the deal
Yeah.
is, let's be honest, man. Lamar Jackson does a great job finding the tight end. All of a sudden, Mark Andrews goes out and they found another tight end. I mean, we
Yeah.
talk about that double tight end set all the time. If you're the Ravens, how are you not running that next year?
Oh, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
seriously,
the receivers
it
stink.
would throw so many teams off by going double tight end set one. Two is you don't even see that Lamar sits there and throws those out routes a lot. He'd be fine with it. I mean, he talks about playing between the hashes. That is complete Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but also like Mark Andrews gets hurt a lot. Like that's the downfall too. Is like he's hurt all the time.
Yeah, well, hell, they found another one. I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing. Do they go wide receiver in the first round again? Back-to-back years would be interesting. 49ers pick at number 31. What do you have, Mario, at 31?
This is the most Kyle Shanahan somehow finds a role for this guy. This guy becomes good, and everyone's sitting
know
here
where you're
going,
gonna go.
"How the hell is this guy good?" You know where I'm going?
I know where you're going.
Where?
You're going Leggett.
Yep. Georgia.
No, South
No,
Carolina.
you're thinking of McConkey.
Oh,
You're talking
oh.
receiver
McConkey.
McConkey. Which one
I'm
are you
talking
going with?
McConkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
McConkey at Georgia. I think he goes to San Francisco. And everyone's like, what the hell? But also Brandon Ayuk apparently some teams being pretty aggressive in trading for him. And one of those teams is the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. But they have a good receiving core.
The Commanders are that team that literally, if you're a salesman, you can sell them anything. I mean, again, I will go back to I've lost complete faith in the Commanders for the fact they signed Davis and Eckler. Like, did you watch any football last year? I mean, did you listen to our show? What the hell, man? I mean, you just go for any shiny object that used to be appealing. Good God. Josh, what do you have?
Yeah. I have them taking Tyler Guyton, the tackle out of Oklahoma. They have Trent Williams, but he's going to be 36 next season, and then their right tackle is unproven. So I think they need to go offensive line eventually. So I have them taking Tyler Guyton, another Oklahoma tackle.
Trent Williams is going to be like Mike Tyson. Like, he's going to be that guy that's 70, and you're always going to be afraid of him. No matter how old he is, like, you're always going to be afraid of that guy. Like, if he was on your block and is your neighbor, and he said, "Hey, man, don't put your trash cans in front of my house," you'd go, "I'm going to move those trash cans as fast as I am, and I'm never going to do that again." Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's going to be that intimidating guy the rest of his life, because we've all seen what he does to everybody. He throws guys around like the third graders.
Yeah.
It's
First
insane.
Yeah, you got to watch out for him. Him and Tyson.
I'm going defensive back. Iowa going Cooper DeJean in this situation. That's why I think the 49ers would go. Kansas City Chiefs, guys, last pick in the first round. Josh, you go ahead and call it.
So I have them taking Xavier Worthy, a guy that reminds me a lot of Tyreek Hill because he's really fast. Interesting situation that the Texas receivers have right now with O'Donnell Mitchell, who people are saying you cannot draft him, even though people think he's better than Xavier Worthy because he has type 1 diabetes and he's combative. I have no idea what's going on there, but supposedly Mitchell's the better receiver, but he's uncoachable. So I think Chiefs end up going with the guy that reminds them of Tyreek Hill.
You know, the thing is, remember the Chiefs had Marcus Peters. Talk about, you just described him, right? Combative, uncoachable. He was good until they realized they don't want a psycho in the locker room anymore. You know? I've told that story, I think, on this show. When I used to cover Charger games with the Chiefs, and the PR staff on the Chiefs would always say, stay away from that guy. It's dangerous. They would tell you every year, stay away from Marcus Peters. You don't know what's going to happen.
I feel like with those guys,
dog.
they're the biggest, like, in their prime, it's like okay to deal with, but as soon as their prime starts going away a little bit, it's like, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, they don't want to be locker room guys, they don't want to be team guys, like, they're gone. That's why their careers are usually short.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, if you're good, you can do whatever you want. Like, we've seen that so many times. Like, Jonte Porter, the guy that just got kicked out of the NBA, like, nobody even cares, you know? But, like, if he was a good player, people would freak out. Like, if he was Shohei Ohtani, you know, like, everybody's freaking out about that. But Jonte Porter, they're like, isn't that Michael Porter's brother? Like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. It just, if you're good, you can do whatever you want.
Yep, it's true. What do you have, Mario?
Jalen Polk, Washington receiver, goes through the city that no one wants to go to. No one wants to be in. Arrowhead, that's a stadium that's breaking down. It's a disgusting stadium. Ugh. But he goes to Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, I'm going same exact pick as Josh. I'm going Xavier Worthy here. Now, I will say this: we talked about everything that could go bad in this draft. The worst thing to happen in this draft would be, for me, if the Kansas City Chiefs traded up and somehow ended up with Brock Bowers. Like, I just want to see Kelsey retire already. I don't want to see the next Kelsey in the system. For me, that would be the worst. If Brock Bowers is wearing a Chiefs uniform in September, I'm just like, I hate this sport.
Who's the player in the draft that's going to get way too much media attention besides Caleb Williams? Like, for example,
JJ McCarthy?
Yeah, that's a good one. But I'm prefacing it like, if Brock Bowers went to Kansas City, how much are we going to see that story that you just talked about? Travis Kelce grooming the next Travis Kelce. Like, it's going to be so annoying to watch. Is there any player or anything you think that could happen that's just going to drive you nuts? Like, okay, like if the Cowboys take any skill player, we're just going to hear about him forever. Like Keon Coleman, right? The guy that you picked. It's like, dude, Keon Coleman's the next god. It's like, why? Because he's a Cowboy? Like, I hate that.
Yeah. I think if JJ goes to like the Giants, that we're gonna get it all the time.
Oh my god, that would be the worst. Thank you for saying that. That would be the worst possible situation if that guy went to New York. Oh my god.
I also think we'll get an overload of Drake May. I think we'll get an overload of that. If he goes like
to the Patriots, I think that if he goes to the Patriots, I think it's really going to be annoying.
Yeah,
we're missing so.
Any of these comments you guys want to get to? I haven't a chance to look at the comments at all. I haven't paid attention. Did I miss anything?
Roy, that's saying the trade QB talk is real, buddy. I was on with 4 insiders today, and every insider was even a discussion of mine. So whoever you hear that trade talk is real from is either extremely wrong, incoherent, uneducated, or doesn't have a middle school degree.
Yeah, if Justin Herbert gets traded, guys, I swear I'll be doing a Raider podcast. Like, forget it. I'm moving on. Like, what the hell? Dude, you can't trade Justin Herbert. What are we doing? He's a top 5 quarterback. You can't trade a franchise quarterback. I don't care how much money you're paying him a year and what you think you could save in salary cap. You got to hold on to Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Insane.
It's insane. And you don't have any other choice but to. We have another one. Do you want to address the Zach? I know we mentioned earlier, but the Zach Wilson to the Broncos. Do you see him getting a little starting some games this year? I mean,
no.
Like, does that happen? No, not at all, you think?
It should not happen. Zach Wilson doesn't have anything. I mean, who are we kidding here with this whole Zach Wilson thing? Right? I mean, it's old already. Like, I almost felt bad for Zach Wilson last year. Like, he had PTSD being in Aaron Rodgers' shadow. It was not a good situation. It was exactly the situation we thought it was going to be, except he had a chance to play. We thought Zach Wilson would be a guy that people didn't even talk about. But there's so much garbage surrounding Zach Wilson. He brings a lot of it on himself.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't feel bad for Zach Wilson. I'm just like, Zach Wilson's not even that backup quarterback you root for. You know, because a lot of backup quarterbacks going, I remember that guy. And then he's a backup quarterback you can't stand.
Dude, there's a formula to this. If you're going to be a backup quarterback, you got to be awesome as a person, like a great guy. I think that's the key. You stay around forever. Did anybody watch those Chargers videos where they do the quarterback competition against the Saints? We would all drink a beer with Chase Daniel. He seems awesome. Why do you think he was on the Chargers? All these guys, Case Keenum, they seem like cool guys. If you're a jerk backup quarterback, good luck. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, just saying.
I have I'm looking for new comments. If not, I have a big personal life dilemma tomorrow.
Oh, let's hear it. These are the best.
Yeah. So it's my niece who's turning. We're not going to worry about ages. All right. So it's like 5 or 6. Nephew that's turning in year 3 or 3. 3. Yeah, 3. And since I can't make all their birthdays because it's all like in a row, taking them out, going, hey, I'll take both of you guys to the Children's Museum. Surprising for Children's Museum for the day. So I'll be right next to Josh in good old city of Indianapolis. I didn't really realize how much work that like this is going to be. I'm been given a diaper bag.
You got a car seat in your car?
I didn't know the car seat part. I didn't know the diaper part. I don't know how to change a diaper. I didn't realize that they each have their own destinations and where they want to go. I didn't realize you have to bring multiple clothes. There's a lot going on that's going into this that I didn't really see coming. And now I'm tweaking a little bit.
Back out. What are you doing?
I can't back out.
Oh,
you know.
Dude, I don't even know what to tell you. You made a horrible life decision. Like that is a horrible offer. First of all, no kid wants to go to a museum. I don't care what it is for.
Children's Museum. Yes.
Yeah, still it has the
you
word
do.
museum. It has the word museum in it.
Okay,
God
do
dang.
yourself a
You screwed
favor.
up. You should have just bought them
No.
both like a candy necklace or a lollipop ring. They would have been fine.
It's literally the number one in the world, and I would look it up right now.
In
and you're gonna want
Indianapolis?
it yourself. No, in God, you're almost cussed.
I know you
In
did.
the world, it's literally. I'm telling you right now, it's pretty sick. I worked there for a summer because it was fun, dude. I'm telling you right now, it's. Please look up pictures.
I'm
I'm
not.
looking at it right now.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, thank Josh.
Wait till
Isn't it?
the FBI
pretty
is knocking
sick?
on that hotel room and wondering why. Yeah,
Looks
I'm
cool.
not.
Yeah,
Pretty
if I was a
sick,
kid, I'd
though.
like this.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck with those diapers.
Thanks. I'll report back on how it went.
I
then
feel
put
bad
it-
for you already.
And put in perspective, my nephew is like a bull in a china shop, like bull, like, and he just hits stuff. Like, Hardball says the human body craves contact. He craves contact. He just likes to
There you
hit.
go.
And then my niece is a mixture of my sister-in-law and my mother, and that's just asking for the second coming of Satan. So that's what it is. Love both.
God, I want to stay out of this. I want to stay on the good side of your family.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck to you. When are you doing this? What day?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
It's my only off
okay.
day. So
All right.
yeah.
All right. So our next show, we're going to come back after the draft. Okay. Thursday night. So no show on Wednesday. We're coming back on Thursday after the draft. We'll talk about the first round. Should be a lot of fun. And we will, hopefully you guys will tune in. We appreciate your comments because it's big. I mean, we're going to like what the Chargers have done on Thursday because let's be honest, up until this point, we haven't really liked a lot. So this is what we want to see. This is like the first big step of, do these guys know what they're doing and can we get behind what they're doing? So please tune in right after the draft. We're going to go live and we're going to break down not only our picks, but of course, we're going to talk a ton of Charger football. It's all about the Chargers on Thursday. We'll let you go. We'll see you on Thursday night again. Don't forget to push the like button, subscribe button. If you watched live today, thank you very much. We'll be live again Thursday. If you didn't watch live and you're watching this on YouTube, please write your comments in what you think is going to happen with the Chargers. I want to know what everybody thinks, what the Chargers do, whether they trade, whether they keep that pick, and what happens from there. We're very interested to see what we think. We have an informed audience of what's going to happen. So we'll be back on Thursday again. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Bolt City Podcast. For Mario Heron, Josh Palet, I'm Dave Palet. We'll see you next time.